Hello, my name is Muhammad Sabariman Sanityoso, but you can call me Ari.
Hi, my name is Noviarto, but you guys can call me Novi.
And we are from the Portuguese culture class of 2022. Today, in this video, we are going to talk about a very interesting topic.
We're going to discuss about Os Lusíadas, or the Lusiads, by the renowned Portuguese poet Luis de Camões. We'll cover the poet himself and the historical context of the poem, and also take a closer look at the three stanzas.
So, who is Luis de Camões? Well, Luis de Camões is Portugal's greatest and most well-known poet, born in 1524 or 1525 in Porto. He once fell in love with Catarina de Ataide, the sister of Dom Antonio de Ataide, a close advisor to Don João III. He was sent to the Ribatejo in 1548. A naval mission to India accepted him as a participant, and so in 1553 he traveled to India after failing to find acceptance at home.
During his years in Ternate, Luis de Camões started his life's greatest work, the Lusiads. He got shipwrecked on his way back. The only item the poet was able to hold onto was the manuscript of the poem. The poem Lusiads was published twice in 1572 and was a phenomenal hit. Even yet, Camões lived out his final years in abject poverty. He passed away on June 10, 1580 and was buried at the Santa Ana convent. Os Lusíadas tells about the Portuguese exploration of the world during the Age of Discovery. This fabulous poem was started in 1556 in Indonesia, more precisely in Ternate, then a Portuguese protectorate. It references many historical figures during that time, like the famed explorer Vasco da Gama and the Portuguese kingdom João II, alongside the mythical figures such as the Greek gods and the siren.
The way in which the stories are told in the epic poem is akin to that of Homer's Iliad and Virgil's Aeneid, so there is a prevailing aura of greatness and gravitas to the stories, and to an extent, the Portuguese history that the poem recounts. A que novos desastres determinas de levar estes reinos e esta gente, que perigos, que mortes le destinas, debaixo de algum nome preeminente, que promessas de reinos e de minas, duro que le farás tal facilmente, que famas le prometerás, que historias, que triunfos, que palmas, que victorias, mas, ó tu, geração daquele insano, cujo pesado é desobediência, não somente do reino soberano, te pos neste desterro e triste ausência.
Mas ainda de outro estado mesqui humano, da kita e da simples inocência, e da de ouro, tanto te privau, que na de ferro e de armas te deitou, já que nesta gostosa vaidade, tanto enlevas a leve fantasia, já que a bruta coisa é feridade, pois este nome, esforço e valentia, já que presas em tanta quantidade, o desprezo da vida, que devia de ser sempre estimada, faz que teme tanto perdê-la que me ada.
These three stanzas tell of an old man confronting Vasco da Gama about his voyage. He scolds them for being vainglorious and greedy, and he tells of the many dangers that will befall them and the Portuguese people if they set out on their voyage. These stanzas reveal the darker side of the Age of Discovery, but it's framed as the pessimism of a conservative old man. Stanza 97 talks about the disasters, unheard dangers, and death, the risk of sailing so far into new territory. The horrors of our realm represent the unknown place that is still mysterious and potentially dangerous or horrific. Moreover, their ambitious voyage and pursuit of discovery, will it mean anything in the end? Are the promises of land, wealth, and triumphs and glory all worth the danger? Is the fame of being courageous explorers worth their life?
Going into stanza 98, the narrating continues with a more religious perspective. the old man claims that the explorers disobey the will of the highest authority, which is, in this case, is actually God Almighty, and thus they doom themselves to exile into faraway lands. By sailing away from their homeland, they to an extent sail away from the Lord in heaven, in pursuit of greed. The part about greed is not too far from the truth because we know that the Gama circumnavigated Africa in search of trade routes. And so because of this, the explorers live a peaceful and innocent world and exchange that for a world full of conflict and iron weapons, a more armed world. In stanza 99, the Berating takes more reflective tone. Commenting on the folly of man, it is argued that the explorers might just waste their lives chasing something that seems so uncertain. All the gospel vanity and pride could blind them and lead them down to the wrong path away from God. Not only that, they make light of man's vanity. The fantastical imagination of glory from exploring the world runs wild in the minds of the explorers, and one might think they will instead be disappointed in what they'll find.
All in all, this reflects the pessimism against the Portuguese voyages of discovery in real life. In the case of da Gama's voyage, which involves circumventing Africa to reach India, there is much to be pessimistic about. The Cape of Good Hope, for one, was infamous for its harsh storms and currents. But even as da Gama sailed in more peaceful seas, once he passed into the south of the equator, the stars would look different than what the Portuguese had known, so he would have to learn the new stars while navigating under them. There was much to be feared from this voyage. Nevertheless, da Gama evidently was not daunted by these pessimistic views and sailed on. Even though much of what was warned came true, like armed conflicts and death, the explorers of the Age of Discovery managed to reach their destinations and connect the West with the East, thus making the world just a bit smaller. Their names go down in history not as reckless men, but as brave explorers.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you all can get more information based on the two of us explaining the three stanzas. We're signing out. Obrigado from me.
And obrigado from me.